Hello, my friends. My name is Rajiv Harry. I'm a native of Portland, Oregon, and I'm a health and wellness coach. And I'm the owner of Embrace Change, a fitness, nutrition, and lifestyle company that focuses on the holistic approach to good health and helps people embrace a healthier existence. I'm also a plant-based Ironman triathlete representing the On crew. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to a mindful moment. Mindful moment is a time to pause, it's a time to reflect, it's a time to recenter, it's a time to create more space for awareness, because I feel like there's always more space for awareness. And the form of mindfulness that we're going to practice today is breath work. And while you breathe, you get connected to your body and your mind as you prepare to go out there for your run, or whatever the challenge is for today. I'm going to implement some words of encouragement and some thoughts that I want you to take with you into your everyday lives to help you combat the adversity and the challenges and the stresses of life, to give you more tools, more armor to protect yourself and protect your mind, protect your heart, protect your peace, and ultimately protect your joy. So the type of breath work that I want to introduce you to today is we're always going to be breathing in through the nose. And the reason why we do that is because we want to get from a sympathetic nervous system, a more fight or flight, heightened, maybe angry, emotional state. And we want to shift over to a more calm, relaxing, peaceful, positive, productive state, which is the parasympathetic nervous system. And we can do that by breathing in through the nose. So as you take a big breath in through the nose and you start to fill and oxygenate your lower lungs, I want you to hold at the top for about 2 seconds. And then when you exhale, I want you to exhale for twice the amount of time that you inhale. And there's some research that shows by exhaling for twice the amount of time, it really helps you shift from that sympathetic nervous system to that parasympathetic nervous system, the rest, relaxation, more space in our reaction. We want to shift to this side of the spectrum. So hopefully you are in a quiet space where you have some peace. And if you feel comfortable, close your eyes. If not, leave them open. But I want you to go ahead and start to breathe. In through the nose, big inhale, oxygenate those lower lungs. Big exhale. And as you begin to breathe, I want you to not try to welcome certain peaceful Zen thoughts while steering away other thoughts. Just let your mind be free. And if you feel like your mind is wandering and it's not allowing you to focus and be intentional about your practice, then I want you just to focus on the rising and the falling of your breath. The rising and falling of your body. And as you continue to breathe, just focus on the breath, getting connected to the body. The topic of today's mindful moment is self-coaching. And there's always a little voice inside of our head that's telling us something, that's communicating to us. But how do we get that coach to steer us in the right direction? And it's really important that we start to look inward for motivation and we don't just look for external factors to motivate us. Because if we can motivate ourselves from the self-talk, the self-coaching that we give ourselves, then we have an advantage, a strategic advantage in accomplishing the things that we set out to do. So I think about that coach inside of us, and I think about these moments of being tired, of being fatigued, of being stressed, being overwhelmed, and just needing someone to give you a pat on the back, someone to give you some encouragement, someone to lift you up with affirmation and say, hey, you got this, you can do it, keep going. And we need to have the ability to do that to ourselves. And maybe we haven't even connected with that little voice inside of our head. And maybe that voice inside of our head is telling us negative things like self-doubt, and you can't do it. But we need to change the rhetoric, and we need to tell that voice in our head, train that voice in our head to motivate us to keep going when we don't feel like it. Because a lot of times the most growth happens in our lives when we are pushed to our boundaries, to our limits, when we have to go through something difficult, when we have to deal with adversity, when we have to face challenges. Or maybe it's a race and you have 400 meters left and you need to kick and you have nothing left, but that little voice in your head says, keep going, you got it. And it's not even your body at that point, it's your heart and it's your mind that's gonna get you through that finish line. And the quote I have for you today is, your language starts to control the way that you think, and your thoughts start to control what you believe. And ultimately, you will act upon what you believe. And I find that to be such a profound quote, because the first thing that triggers everything is your language. And it's the way that you speak to yourself. And sometimes we're not always nice to ourselves, the way that we speak to ourselves. So if we can start to change that language, that'll be the catalyst to start to control this system that gets us all the way to belief, because ultimately what we believe in is what we do. So if we can start with the language that we use with ourselves, being kind to ourselves, giving ourselves positive affirmation, then we can trigger the way that we think, and then ultimately the way that we believe, which will then spiral into the action that we take in our everyday lives. That's a beautiful process that starts with the language that we use. As you continue to breathe, I have an actionable item that I want you to take away from this mindful moment and take into your everyday life. And that is, any time that you feel yourself starting to be negative, starting that self-doubt to start to creep in, that little voice in your head telling you that you can't do it, I want you to stop and I want you to evaluate that thought, and I want you to ask yourself, is there any truth to it? Does it hold merit in your heart? Or is it just negativity just creeping in? And I want you to correct it with some positive affirmation, with you can, I am. Those are strong, bold statements that empower us to keep going in our everyday lives. So that's the challenge this week, is to implement the I am, I can, I will not give up. Some of those statements into your life, and see how that really starts to make a difference in your self-confidence, your self-esteem, the challenges, the risks that you take in your life. It will empower you to step into greater spaces into your life. So I want you to take one last big deep breath. And come back, bring your focus here. I want you to think about the things that you heard in this mindful moment. And I want you to start taking inventory, and I want you to start thinking about how you're going to implement that into your life. And see how fruitful and how beneficial that can be to your peace and your joy. Remember, mindfulness can happen anywhere, on the go, at home, while you're preparing for a run. Utilize this tool of breath work to get connected with the mind and the body. And prepare yourself. Give yourself more tools to go into battle with. Have a great day, everyone.